Hi, my name's Nita and I'm going to be answering some questions for you about the college. So the first question was to do with what was I most scared of when I came to the college, and for me it was making friends. I'm not from Nottingham, so I'm from Grantham in Lincolnshire, so I was commuting to the college every day, so I was by myself. I had a few friends from Grantham who went to Nottingham College as well, but they did completely different courses. So I was pretty much just alone, and I was terrified about meeting new people and making new friends and knowing how to talk. I remember coming to Nottingham, and Grantham isn't far from Nottingham, but the way people speak is very differently. So I can remember sitting in a classroom and someone saying, "Oh yeah, I went to my mama's," and for ages I thought that was like your name for your mum. I didn't know that meant grandma, so that was a really weird situation. So I had to kind of not translate everything, but things were a bit new to me. So meeting new friends was definitely something I was terrified about. And I was so shy at first. Like I can remember just sitting in a corner alone, just like, I don't want to talk to anyone. Everyone's so scary. But in the end, I got the confidence and I made some really good friends and people I'm still friends with 5 years later. So I shouldn't have been so nervous about it, but yeah. The next question is, what made you feel better when you came to college? And for me, what made me feel better was being around like-minded people. So whilst I was at school, I loved dance so much, but no one else really got the hype. They were like, oh, what do you actually want to do? And that was a really hard thing to hear from people, especially when you know what you want to do, but no one else kind of feels the same way. So coming to college, I got to be surrounded by so many other people that wanted to do the same thing about me, that were passionate and really wanted to achieve their goals. So that was an amazing thing to come to college and feel that kind of passion through everyone and bounce off of people. So that was really good. So the next question is, what are the biggest myths about college? I remember being at secondary school and being like, oh, if you want to be like have help, go to sixth form, and if you just want to be left alone to do whatever, go to college. And I was like, I didn't want to go to sixth form because you can't really do dance in sixth form, but I can remember going to college and be like, oh my god, I'm going to get no help whatsoever, which was not the case. You get so much help from your lecturers because they care so much about what you're doing and they only want you to succeed. You're not just left alone and expected just to do amazing without any help. The amount of times I've had to ask for help or I've been confused, and I've been given so much guidance that I can't believe I ever thought that they were just going to leave me to fail. So the next question is, explain what a typical day looks like for you. It changes, but for me, I get up, I have my breakfast, which is very important as a dancer. I go into the studio, I get in about 5 to 10 minutes early usually, so I can do a little warm up. We kind of usually start with a technique class, so it'll be like ballet or contemporary, and then we go into, sometimes it's like choreography with a different teacher, we switch studios. We then sometimes have a little break for like some water and things. And then we go into like a different technique sometimes, or it depends when in the year we are. So kind of the start of the year, you've got your different modules. You have like your technique modules, and there's like context, so you learn about the history of dance, and things like that. And then as you go on throughout the year, you have different projects. You have creative projects where you make your own pieces. And then towards the end of the year, you have your final major project where you make your own piece. So before everything with coronavirus happened, I would have been getting up, going to the studio, warming up, maybe having a technique class, and then it'd be straight into creating material for my piece, and then also being in other people's pieces, so going to their rehearsals and learning their material, having lunch, and then going back at it again. And we'd usually kind of be in the studio on a regular day, maybe 9 till 5. It sometimes changes, sometimes the day's much shorter. But yeah, it's about 9 till 5, and then kind of when you get to the end of year and you do like F&Ps and stuff, you tend to put in some extra hours. So the college it's going to probably change, but it sometimes has late days, so it'll be open from like 8 till 8. So often we find ourselves staying in the studio till about maybe 6:30 in the evening, just trying to get everything done. It kind of changes. It's awkward to say what a regular day is. It does change about a bit, but yeah. next question is, what are the tutors like? They are amazing. They are, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I feel like in the dance department we've had some amazing tutors over time, and a lot of them coming from within the industry, so you get that connection and those contacts through them. So I was taught by Laura Savage, who is a Nottingham-based performer in her own company called Next Door Dance, who do a lot of youth schemes and do a lot of performances. So through her, I've had many opportunities. I've managed to perform a Leicester Tigers game. I've managed to potentially go on tour with them, COVID-19 depending. And she's also given people experience within the youth companies. So a few of my peers were able to teach with her youth companies as they were interested in teaching. So just through that one person, we've had so many experiences, and there's been so many other people we've been taught by over time that have come and gone, and it's just shaped me as a dancer, as a performer, and as a human. So it's been great because the college always ensures that they bring in teachers that can give you these experiences, that can help you be in the career that you want to be in. So our tutors have been amazing. Our head of year, Nikki, is also great. She does whatever she can to help you, even if sometimes she may get a bit angry. She only wants the best for you. And she puts in a lot of extra work that you don't see from a student point of view, but behind the scenes she does so much for you. So the next question is, explain a little bit about the learning environment. So as a dancer, we have a very practical based learning environment, and I know from looking at many of the courses, they mainly focus on the theoretical side of it. So you have a lot of theory classes and writing, whereas at the college we definitely focus on getting your skill up and learning through practice, which I find so much more beneficial than learning through theory. And although the theory side is really important and that is still seen at the college, you definitely learn better from actually practicing what you preach as such. So for us, we are mainly based on around the idea of dancing. So you'll find that for every like 6 hours you dance, you probably only have one actual theory class. The numbers are probably different, but still it's definitely more heavily focused on the practical side. And although you are expected to do the theory side at home, when you're at the college you do definitely learn a lot about the theory side just through practicing it. By doing a technique class and being told, oh, this is the style that can be seen by Isadora Duncan, and you definitely learn to appreciate the style more when you practice it whilst you learn. So I think that's a very good thing about the college. Rather than just jamming you with all these facts and none of them get processed, you learn physically and you tend to learn and remember the facts much better. So the next question is, if you could talk to your younger self before you started at college, what would you say? Now this is a question that I always kind of think about without really realising it, and it's like, oh, I wish I told myself that back then. I think a lot of people do that in general. So for me, there's about 3 things I'd probably say to pass me. One is be confident. I tend to find that I shy away. I get so nervous, like with the friends thing. I would have made so many more friends at the beginning if I just had more confidence in myself. So self-confidence is something I tell myself, be confident. The second thing is be you, which is so important. I think a lot of people think when they go to college they have to reinvent themselves and become this new person, which you don't have to do. Just be the truest you can be. A lot of people who have felt confined by secondary education finally have the opportunity to come out and just be themselves, which is a great thing. But don't ever feel like you have to change yourself because you're going to college. Just be a better you. Become the you know you can be, and believe in yourself, which is really important. Just express yourself. Don't be scared you're going to be judged, because often you're going to be judged no matter who you are. So you're better to be judged for being yourself than being this random person that not even you recognise when you look in the mirror. And the third lesson is commit to what you do and love it. And if you truly love what you're studying, it'll be worth all the stress and the tears and everything else. The amount of times I've cried and broke down because I've been so stressed but it's all been worth it because I love what I do. And if you study what you love, then it will all be worth it. The crying and stuff won't matter anymore because you would have got to this point in your life where I've done it. I've got where I want to be. So really commit, because if you can't commit to what you love, then you're doing the wrong thing. Make sure you study something that if you break down and you get upset, it'll be worth it. Because what's the point otherwise? Anyway, thank you for listening to my answers. And I hope you enjoy the college. Bye!